Sunshine do buckaroos. How the heck are you? I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer and the Whiskey Whisperer, at least for the purposes of this video. We'll mix and match both personas, if you will. I'm having some issues there for some reason. I don't know. There we go. Oops. Well, son of a gun. There we go. So how the heck are you? Pick this up. We got stuff spread out all over the place. Bear with me. Oh, mercy. So my wife and I did something that we've actually had never done before. We didn't realize it till we got thinking about it. Well, son of a gun. We actually went out on New Year's Eve. Stayed out till almost midnight. Just stayed past midnight, but I actually left. I think we left about 11 because I wanted to beat the cars out of the parking lot. Anyway, let me set this down. Oh, so I got a couple things here. So I'm starting with the Rot Gut, just a cheap beer and some relatively inexpensive whiskey. Some might take offense for me calling it Rot Gut, but it is on the lower end of what I typically drink. But it was a gift. It was a gift for a particular reason. My daughter gave this to me, along with some shot glasses here and something else I'll show you. But there was a reason for this. It was wrapped up like it was a power drill, and she knows her dad isn't the handiest of individuals. But yeah, it was there was a can of Coke attached there. I drank the Coke already, and some Ferrero Rochers. I ate those already. And then the Jack Daniels, which I just opened up today, and I haven't drank any of it yet because I wanted to have some with y'all here. Like I said, I'm starting with the Rot Gut, and with the beer. The beer is from Trader Joe's. It's a Trader Joe's product called Simpler Times. Just a rather awful lager at 6.2%. Let's see what I do with my shot glass there. There it is. So my daughter gave me this collection of shot glasses, and I'll show you the rest of them as we go through the video. But I poured a shot of that Jack Daniels into this one that says 0 fucks given. I think she would say that probably describes her dad fairly well. Anyway, slancha. Couldn't do the full chug this morning or this afternoon. I usually drink a certain quality of products, but where we went out yesterday, they only had certain things. So it was kind of one of the win and roam things. I'm not complaining, mind you, just kind of stating why I feel the way I do today. Because I drank a lot of those products. The closest to craft they had was a Yingling. So I did have a few of those, but then I decided to just keep going down the food chain as we went. I had a couple Bush. I wasn't going to go light beer, but and then I had I had a neat pour of Makers, and then a neat pour of Jameson. But the place where reminded me of my upbringing, going to American Legion after American Legion as a kid. It wasn't a Legion, and I don't know if they want me to mention the name, so I won't. But it's that similar atmosphere and vibe. Some friends invited us out. It was really, really nice. I think I'm going to join that particular organization, though, because it was a lot of fun. Sometimes I forget I'm as old as I am. Look around. There's a lot of old people in here. It's a time you're older than a lot of them. Sometimes I forget that I'm 60, man. I don't feel 60. My body feels 80, but but up here and here, I'm thinking more 35, 40. I don't seem to fit in with a lot of the folks in that older category. But but it was a lot of fun. Saw well, I won't refer to him as a friend 'cause it's not like we hung out, but Vic Vaughn and Sold Out played last night, and he was one of the first artists I saw when I first moved to town back in '92. Was incredible. It was funny. I was talking to him a little bit after the first set. I was asking. We played some songs that I hadn't heard him play before. We were talking about it. He says, "Yeah, we all have to evolve." Yeah, because when I saw him way back when, it was a lot of harder rock and blues, some Hendrix, some other things, but along those lines. But he played some Dobie Gray, Drift Away, some other things that I didn't expect him to play. Then as the night went on, they got a little heavier, more to the songs that I remember him playing when I was a kid. Well, when we were kids, I guess, because I think we're probably pretty close to the same age. Might be a few years younger than me, but it was really nice. I mean, I felt the reminiscing going on in my head as I was watching the show. Happy New Year, Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa, how you doing? Jeff. Hey, glad you're doing well too, Jeff. Yeah, like I said, my wife and I, we didn't realize it until we started thinking about that. We'd actually never gone out on New Year's Eve. I think there were a couple of New Year's Eves where we went out of town, got a hotel room, but was with the kids so they can go swimming and stuff and that kind of thing. It wasn't, so we can go party. So, but this is the first time, and we've been empty nested for over a decade now. So I'm not really sure why we haven't before now, but I think it was usually just a conscious decision not to want to get out. And I've looked around in the past because I remember when our kids were little, there was a lot of places in town would do hotel packages and have a good band playing, and Branson would do the same. But I looked over the last few years. I don't think it doesn't seem like anybody's really doing those things anymore for one reason or another. And I didn't even look this year. I mean, I wasn't in the right headspace to really think about anything. Uh, I used to tell my kids, don't let one bad thing happen to you that day define your day. There were probably 9 other good things that happened. So don't let that one thing. But we had one horrible, unimaginable thing happen to us this year. We lost our grandson, Ben. And I feel like, I did let that one thing kind of ruin the year. I feel like I've been in a constant state of depression ever since. I haven't been sleeping. I put on 20 pounds in about the last 6 weeks since that happened, because I didn't realize I was doing so much, nervous snacking and eating and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to be conscious and aware of it now. And then it brought back the other grief symptoms, if you will, for lack of a better word, of losing our son back in 2013. And it's just, I feel like I don't know how much I have left. I feel like I just can't take any more grief. I can't handle any more loss. So I'm probably going to have to listen to my wife at some point and quit using you all as my therapist and actually go talk to somebody. I put it off all these years, but I don't know if I can put it off any longer if I can't find a balance. I've been trying to, when I'm out in public or at work, especially dealing with a lot of folks, get into character as the goof I'm expected to be, play that part, but I'm finding it harder and harder to do that. I did take that one shot of Jack Daniels, but I did pour one ounce here. I did pour a shot here into my Jack Daniels glass. These were my dad's glasses. I don't know how old they are. They're probably at least 40, if not closer to 50 years old, but they're a minimum of 40. just, just Jack Daniels isn't what it used to be, and they're getting by on a name. Folks buy the product because it has a name on it. A lot of folks are just too young to remember that it was a 90 proof product, became an 86 proof product in the mid to late 80s. Can't remember the exact year, but then it became an 80 proof product, and it's still, but the price point didn't change. So people are buying it just because of the name, and the marketing is brilliant. But there are other 80 proof similar bourbons or whiskeys. Tennessee whiskey, is it bourbon? Is it? there are at a lesser price point that are of equal quality. So I don't know, but they are getting by on a name. Dave, Lisa, Rebecca, thank you for tuning in. I want to thank Rebecca and Josh for inviting us out last night. It was really a lot of fun to do something completely out of character. Well, mostly for my wife. My poor wife. I put her in situations. But it was really nice. Oh. But I did drink a little more than I planned on, so I did have a bit of a hangover this morning. Drinking a lot of beer I don't typically drink and whiskeys I don't typically drink. And I did a lot of mixing, which is probably where but it was worth it. It really was a lot of fun. Vic Vaughn was amazing. It was great talking with Josh and Rebecca. I've got some better product I want to have with you, but I wanted to do this first. Oh, Jack Daniels, old number 7. I've got 2 different styles of glasses, so I was debating which one to grab, but this one was easier, so I just grabbed it. So what am I getting from this? It is, I haven't had Jack Daniels in a while, and it is sweeter than I remember. The way Jack intended. So I can read this here, get my eyes. I have terrible allergies today, and my eyes are watering. With only the finest grains, pristine water from the cave spring hollow, and mellow drop by drop through sugar maple charcoal, we proudly aged in new handcrafted white oak barrels the same way we've been doing 150 years. I don't guess they tell you how long it's aged. I'm going to assume 4 years, but they don't say here, unfortunately. I wish they would tell me. I don't think it says here. Part of my label is ripped, so it could be in that part, but distilled and bottled by. No, don't tell me exactly. I'm going to assume it's 4 years. But it is a little sweeter than I remember it, in all honesty. And I've been drinking a lot of different whiskeys over the last few years. So it doesn't feel as nuanced as a lot of the craft or small distillery whiskeys that I've been drinking the last few. Yeah, and that may be why it feels like a young whiskey, because I'm not feeling a lot of nuances. But yeah, so a lot of vanilla, toffee, almost just a touch of toasted hazelnut in there if you're looking. I'm not finding it harsh, in all honesty. I'm just finding it not extremely nuanced, if that makes sense to you. If I was doing a blind testing, I would just feel it as a young whiskey, but I've got to assume it's probably aged 4 years. I just wish they hadn't changed it. Okay, we didn't change it, Tom. Well, you added more water, so that changes it. I wish they just bring it back to that 90 proof, what it was, because it just feels thin. It feels thin and watery at this 80 proof. But part of it that could be me, in all honesty, because I drink mostly. But I like to buy a lot of cask whiskey, so most of what I drink is 100 proof and above. So that's probably why. But yeah, anything at 80 feels pretty thin. But do like a historical release or something. But bring the original back because you didn't do yourselves any favor. I know you probably tried to save some money, gradually take it back, and now you've got a generation that doesn't know the difference because everybody that drank the 90 proof is no longer around. I mean, I did drink the 90 proof, but I wasn't of legal age at the time. So anybody that could have been 21 when it was still a 90 proof, most are not around anymore. So nobody really remembers what it used to be, and I really wish they'd bring it back. I'd like to try it at 90 and then compare to this and prove myself right. Anyway, cilantro. All right, so I did pour myself a better beer. Let me grab it here. Although this one was from Trader Joe's as well. It's just a very well done beer. It's their Winter Ride Double Bock or Doppelbock at 7.5%. Very dark doppel. Brewed out of San Jose, California. So if you look who has a brewery in San Jose, we'll tell you who actually brews this. But it is a very decent double bock. It's not a chocolate bock per se, but it does give you those flavors and aromas. Got a big roasted malt. A hint of sweetness early on, mellowed out by the nice herbal, earthy hops in the finish. I'm going to set that down for a second here. And pick up the better whiskey I promised you. You did promise us, Tom. I did want to show you something, though, before I get too far. I almost forgot. My daughter actually made this. I showed my daughter gave me that, but she actually, in the shot glasses, but she made this for me. Isn't that awesome? She's amazing. I tell her she's my favorite daughter, and she reminds me that she's my only daughter. So I say, nevertheless, to my old Lives Matter glass, let me show that to you. I've got a couple ounces poured neat. I just opened this bottle. I haven't had it before. Decided to open a bottle for New Year's Day. This is from Old Dominic out of Memphis, Tennessee. Their single barrel select straight wheat whiskey. Let's set this down a second while I read that. Yeah. Eyes are wanting to fuzz out on me. It's 118.41. They're very precise on that proof, aren't they? Aged 7 years, 7-year-old, 59.2. Aged in West Tennessee white oak barrels. I love that they tell me the barrel used. A lot of them will say white oak, but not give you the region, and that really makes a difference. The mash bill, I really love this mash bill. 83% wheat, 12% corn, and 8% malted barley. So malted barley is going to help with the viscosity. The 12% corn is going to add a hint of sweetness in there. Pick this glass back up. So I haven't had this before. I poured some to take a picture, but I haven't even checked the nose on it. So I want to share that with you here. My old Lives Matter glasses. I think it's another present for my daughter, if I remember right, for my birthday, not Christmas, but very deep nose, very interesting. I'm not getting those familiar, bourbon like notes. It almost feels more like an American single malt nose. Oh my God, I love that viscosity. Uh, I think a lot of us beer geeks get focused on the nose, the aromatics, the flavor, the taste, the palate, but we forget about the other things, right? They get overlooked. How pleasing is it to drink? This one is very pleasing. The viscosity is just perfect. It's about where you'd expect it to be at that proof. The wheat whiskeys, to me, a lot of them in the past I've had have been on the sweet side, and maybe this one isn't because of that high wheat content, just that little bit of corn and then the malted barley. But this might very well be my favorite wheat whiskey because it's not overly sweet, has that nice soft body. Almost get just a slight note of caramel mixed with maple in there early on, but it's just a touch. Like I said, it's not as sweet as you might think or might expect. Mm, beautiful barrel notes in the finish. Oh, this stuff is absolutely gorgeous, man. Mm. Let's set that down. I'm gonna pick this beer back up. So as we embark on a new year, I won't be able to forget anything that happened last year, but I'm going to try to keep moving forward and try to focus on positive. It's been very hard for me the last few weeks since we lost Ben. I've been finding myself drifting further and further into depression and trying to catch myself, get into character when I go to work. But then that's exhausting as well. I'm reminded of the Nick Lowe song "Cracking Up," and one of the lines is, "I laugh, but it's wrecking me, wrecking me." I feel like the more that I try to be this person I'm expected to be, the bigger toll it takes on me overall. So I'm gonna have to try to find some balance in there somewhere. And if I can't figure out a way to do it on my own, I'm going to have to listen to my wife and find somebody to talk to. Really hate to admit the wife is right. I just, we know she's right. They're always right, but we don't want to have to, actually follow the advice. Oh, mercy. My problem is I just keep thinking of what it costs to see a therapist and all the other things I could do with that same amount of money. The amount of beer or whiskey or even, food, steaks, lobster. This is what I'm losing by talking to you. And that's the problem. Every time I would see a therapist, that's what was going through my mind. I'm paying this. I could be having that. But in the past, I feel like I've been able to find a balance and a way to keep moving forward, but I've been really struggling over the last few weeks. And I was really doing good, losing some weight. I was seeing a personal trainer and putting on some muscle. But then that happened, and I just kind of, when I went to my yearly physical, I gained 20 pounds from the year before. Other numbers looking pretty good. Most of the numbers were, but then that wasn't good, and triglycerides were up as well, and I had them down. So I've got to figure out a way to be aware of what I'm doing. Let me set this down. And pick my whiskey back up again. This was very interesting to me because, I mean, obviously it's wheat whiskey. It's not an American single malt, but I'm almost getting that cigar tobacco-like note on the nose. Just a slight hint of vanilla, maybe a touch of maple. But most wheat whiskeys that I've had in the past have been very sweet to me anyway. This one isn't, but I mean that as a compliment. It's the most pleasing to drink wheat whiskey I've ever had. I mean, the viscosity, the mouthfeel is absolutely gorgeous. It just feels so velvety smooth. And you get a little touch of that sweetness, but it doesn't linger, which I like. Beautiful barrel notes. Again, a lot of big oak. I don't think I explained spices earlier, so let me say, take a drink here. Typically, cinnamon is usually the first that comes out of a barrel, and the Tennessee barrels. I don't know, man, because I'm not getting the cinnamon. I'm getting more allspice, ginger, clove. I am getting some cinnamon in there, but it doesn't feel like the major component. Missouri white oak, for instance, has gave you a lot of spice notes, a lot of cinnamon up front, but here I'm getting it in a completely different way. It's absolutely gorgeous. Wow, this whiskey is insane. I've had other Old Dominic / Huling Station products that I've really liked. And I almost didn't buy this one because I'm more of a bourbon or American single malt kind of guy. But I did want to try this one. I'm glad I did because it is rather amazing. It's probably, in my opinion, the best wheat whiskey I've ever had. It is absolutely gorgeous. Set that down. Get this beer up again. Oh. So both my wife and I slept in today, so we got off to a late start. So breakfast actually happened right about lunchtime. But for New Year's Day breakfast, we had chicken and waffles. I will admit the waffles were store bought. It was the Kodiak brand, the whole grain waffle. They're really good for a store bought brand. They're really good. But the chicken was me. Has had some nice chicken breasts that I cut up and breaded and fried. And then I made my own Nashville hot style sauce. I say sauce, it really wasn't a sauce. It was very thick because I like it spicy. I didn't want to put too much butter in there to thin it down. But it was very good. My issue with ordering chicken out is that, especially from fast food places, even the so-called better ones like Raising Cane's, is that they cook it to death. It just has to be done right, and you don't have to dry the living fuck out of it. And that's why I don't like even the places like Raising Cane's that are supposed to be so good. I find them not. For one, they're under seasoned, and then two, mostly that they overcook the hell out of. And until recently, I didn't realize that pasty ass white folk weren't supposed to season chicken, because I've always seasoned the hell out of mine. You gotta put some flavor in there, man. It's chicken. You gotta. It has no taste. You gotta add things to it. It's not a ribeye. Ribeye, all you need is some good salt, little pepper. You're done. But but chicken, you gotta add some things. You can't just fry plain old chicken. It's got no flavor. Anyway, anyways, I digress. You set this down. And I realize I've been talking for a very long time, so I need to end this video. Oh, excuse me. Finish my whiskey up here. So I hope everybody had a fun but safe New Year's Eve. Everybody got home in one piece, because I don't think my old heart could take any more loss at this point. Oh, this whiskey is absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you this bottle one more time. Oh, I had this shipped to me, and I didn't notice this sticker until just now. It said selected for Empire Liquor, Texas Barrel Straight. So I didn't know if it came from Texas to get to me. I ordered it from the old Dominic website, but I didn't realize. I just assumed it'd come from them, but I didn't notice that sticker until just now. That's interesting. Anyways, the proof is 118.41. It's aged 7 years. Old Dominic out of Memphis, Tennessee. It's their straight wheat whiskey. Barrel entry proof. Old Dominic wheat barrel. All right. I do like the products. I've had very good luck. I've had a few couple of friends not for one reason or another. But I also feel like the reason they weren't crazy about it, as I got to know, I feel like there were some motives involved. But I love the Old Dominic / Fueling Station products that I've had. And I like the fact that their website allows me to order them, even though for some reason they've got to go through Texas first. I didn't know why. Anyways, I digress. I am Tom, the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom and biscuits and gravy. I'm also Tom, the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom and all around good guy. And thanks everyone for tuning in. I mostly want to thank my daughter for all these wonderful presents, and hope you all have a nice new year.